Well, hello everybody, and welcome to my channel. My name is Stephen the Jupiterian here with a video on the week of June 1st to the 8th. Yes, and possibly the 9th. Actually, maybe, yeah, actually till June 9th. And I'll also talk about the full moon happening on June 11th in Sagittarius. So, there's a lot to cover. So first off, June 1st. Well, let me pull up the astrology clock, which would be here on the West Coast. We have Virgo rising. It means it's a Virgo hour, or Mercury, the hour of Mercury, or Mercury is the most prominent here, and it's in the 10th house, the most prominent part, uh, place in the zodiac. 10th house, where everyone is publicly seen, your reputation is here. So you'll probably be spoken about or talking about your um, career, public persona. But we have Venus making a conjunction. Here we are to Chiron. It's interesting. Some healing here of your values, um, initiating things. Venus and Chiron at 25 degrees and 44 minutes. You can actually round that up to 26 minutes if you'd like. So, or 26 degrees if you would like. Um, the moon is going to be moving into Virgo very soon. If we move this in an hour or so. A few hours actually. And there you have it. Moon in Virgo. Later on today, this evening on the West Coast, actually late at night on the East Coast, or the second overseas in everywhere else in the world. June 2nd, the moon will be in Virgo for those in England and beyond. Mm, so Venus is moved past Chiron. It's still conjunct within a degree, at least, well, less than a degree, because we're at 25 degrees, 45 minutes of Chiron, and Venus is at 26 degrees and 1 minute. That's less than a degree away. So it's still considered conjunct because they are within orb of each other. So Venus and Chiron here together, well, it's a good time to have, well, if it's in your fifth house, maybe there'll be a healing of your creativity, values of your creativity are healing right now. The creative process, the your children, uh, creating things. Well, if you're Sagittarius rising, yes, it's in the fifth house. If we go back to an hour to Scorpio, this is in your sixth house of work, co-workers, your work environment, the uh, routines you do for your health and well-being. If you have an illness of some sort, there's definitely value here in healing that wound or whatever illness needs you are dealing with. If you have an illness, could be you could even get a service animal, a service pet to help heal this area of your chart of your in the sixth house. If you are a Libra rising, well, this is a healing of your relationship. Maybe your spouse is okay. I'm gonna sneeze. All righty, sorry everybody. Well, all right. So we have 26 degrees of Aries because we're rounding that up. 26 degrees of Aries is a man possessed of more gifts than he can hold. Some equipment is the key word here. So you are equipped with the healing tools and gifts to heal what is of value to you. Yes. So, sorry, I was reading in this, and the theme of this degree, Aries degree, 26 degrees, the dynamo. This symbol speaks of exceptional talent and self confidence. I'm actually reading from The Sabian Symbols by Diana Erosh. So, this symbol speaks of exceptional talent and self confidence. The image of a man possessed of more gifts than he can hold illustrates the concept of the Renaissance man, or the man for all seasons. The challenge in this symbol is in learning when and where to set limits on the demands of others and how to avoid spreading the self too thin or trying to handle too many things at once. There is an inclination indicating here to try to be all things to all people and to grow restless or bored when things slow down to a lull. There may also be a tendency to overestimate how much can be handled at this time and to overburden the self with too many responsibilities or projects. On the positive side, at its highest, this symbol represents extraordinary competency and talent, independence, and an insatiable desire to explore and develop all of the self potential. On the negative side, you can be obsessive compulsive behavior and flights of fancy or an inability to sit quietly alone in a room and relax. Well, hmm, yes, I would just say to take it slow if you're feeling anxious, because this is a very anxious sign. Aries is, yes. Um, just slow down. Take some time to reflect, or meditate on what's going on with you, and be and actually make and actually make sure that you know that you are talented. You have talent. Just um uh make sure your values are intact and they're healing. Actually, this is a great time to heal this um mentality if you feel you lack in this area. Oh, alrighty. With that, we're going to continue on. Uh, let's go backwards. We're going backwards. Hey, we're going backwards in time. Yay. Virgo. Well, Virgo, this is happening in your eighth house. There's a healing going on in your and with other people's money, other people's values of you, your spouse's money. Um, as I said, this is a time to reflect, healing, and heal what you desire. Um, it may be a mystery to you, Virgo, but actually, this could be you could start um, being more responsible in your studies of astrology or the occult sciences, or um, possibly magic. And actually, maybe this is it's also the house of death and, taxes. So and money. This is basically a money house. Other people's money, basically. Inheritance, where the second house is money, your possessions. Um, so it's bringing healing energy to your eighth house, Virgo. And then we're going to go back to Leo. Leo, well, this is happening in your ninth house. Maybe you're having a religious epiphany or something, or a religious awakening, healing of some kind of something that thought you valued, that was um, creating a wound here in your spiritual um, practice, spiritual guidance, your religion, uh, the philosophy of your life is here also in the ninth house, the house of God. So religion, uh, higher education. So actually, you could be healing something that you thought you had um, a terrible feeling about um, higher education. And you may be going back to school to heal this wound and find that value in this realm of your chart or your life. Leo rising, yes. Going to Cancer. Well, Cancer, this is in your 10th house. You may find value in the healing of your reputation. May responsible feeling responsible and uh, adding that responsibility and maybe feeling that that restriction is no longer holding you back. That restriction may be helping you to find what your value is in your career, your public persona, or healing some kind of something that you portrayed that you thought you valued in your personality. It's or actually to your the persona you show to the out to the outside world in the public. I know the first house is what how people see you, but this is how you're perceived in the public, your reputation. So they could be healing here. And your reputation, most likely, yes. If you are a Gemini rising, this is happening in your 11th house. A friend's a healing, there could be a healing with, or a reckoning of some sort with friends that, or you may find a group of for in the healing arts, because you may find value in a community where you will be find they will you will feel valued and validated. Taurus. Well, Taurus, this is happening in your 12th house. Mm, maybe it's a spiritual house. It's a house of self undoing. Maybe there's a healing going on that you well, you really won't see it because it's an aversion to you, Taurus rising. 12th house, you really don't see much about it. Mm. So, yeah, actually, this could be, um, you can find healing through your dreams or past life regression. So, because the 12th house is of past lives. And then Aries rising. Well, this is all about you. There's a healing power in your personality. You may find there's a different change in your personality. You value something new about you you didn't think, feel you had, um, or you heal from a personality trait that you did not like about yourself. Um, looking, well, actually, yeah, actually, for this, it's always good to look in a mirror, do some mirror exercises and self affirming statements to tell yourself in the mirror and believe them. It's a good it's a good holding yourself accountable. Saturn in Aries and believing them, Neptune in the first house. Uh, yeah, other people may not see as you, but they may, but actually you will definitely value what you see portrayed back to you in the mirror. It's a good thing to hold yourself accountable for your character and healing from past traumas, maybe. if you're an Aries rising. Yeah. We're going backwards to Pisces. This is in your second house. Well, it's an aversion to you, Pisces. The second house, anything in the second house is an aversion, although it's a money house. It's your possession. Um, Maybe you're valuing uh, something new about yourself, finding out something new that uh, healing, that voice that you find value. Maybe you find that your voice is healing others, or you're have a, or maybe you just find value in healing in your possessions, your how you um, your facial features. You may say see something new and holding yourself accountable for your money and your possessions. A Saturn here in the second house for Pisces. Aquarius. Well, there's a healing in your neighborhood, your siblings, um, neighbors. Maybe you're finding value in your neighborhood. Something has changed in your neighborhood. You're holding your neighbors accountable, or your neighbors are holding you accountable, and they value the neighborhood. Maybe you're on a neighborhood watch. So yeah, holding you accountable for the neighborhood, for a neighborhood watch. So yeah. Let's see. Capricorn. Capricorn. Well, this is happening in your fourth house. It could be personal uh, values of your home, your family, your mother, um, your ancestral lineage line, um, finding, hey, actually, you may, you may be held accountable for the welfare of your home and your personal foundation, your personal um, sanctuary. So it's healing time for where you value in your home, about your home. Sorry, but I needed water. Oh my goodness. Um, so we went through Venus and Chiron through the signs, and we'll go back to a Sagittarius, which we already did. Okay, it's May 31st. Well, let's go back, go ahead in a day. Right now. And the moon is not in Virgo yet. Not until, well, later on tonight, as I said, on the 1st. And then let's go back to, go ahead to the 2nd. June 2nd. The moon is in Virgo and will be in Virgo until we get to our first quarter moon. Well, actually, it will be a first quarter moon when we get to about here. The sun is at 13 degrees, and then when The moon gets to, hmm, yeah, when the moon is at about 13 degrees of Virgo. So, yeah, we have a first quarter moon making a uh, square, first quarter moon, first square of Gemini season of June, actually. And that's all that's happening on June 3rd. Yep. June 4th, we have the moon will be moving into Libra. And Venus will make a sextile to Jupiter, right? Venus is at 28 degrees. Jupiter is at 28 degrees, which is in a sextile, making a sextile to each other. Jupiter is going to, this is the two benefics. Well, it's a good sextile, but they're both in signs that are in detriment or fall. Jupiter is in detriment in Gemini, and Venus is in fall. Correct? Actually, let me see my consult my uh no, that's not correct. Venus is in detriment, and Jupiter is also in detriment. They're both in detriment. So they don't do well in each sign, each other's signs. They're in it's not a good thing. Mercury is in the sign it rules, thank goodness. And we will go ahead to the 5th of June, where we have Mercury square the north node, right? Mercury squares the north node, yes. The north node is at 23 degrees in Pisces, and that's making a square to Mercury. Is making a square to the north node. Mercury making a sextile to Mars. Hey, Mercury and Mars. Well, that's not terrible. Communications and taking action is in a very positive aspect here. So, thinking through your actions is a great thing. Actually, with Jupiter here, it's very beneficial to think things through before you actually do them, because Mars in any fire sign is very well, depending on the fire sign, because Mars in Leo is very stubborn that I want to do it this way, but Mercury is going to say, well, maybe you should think this through first before you do it. If you have Mars in Aries, well, there's another sextile. Because if you have Mars, any planet in Aries will make a sextile to any planet in Gemini. And that would be the same thing. You know, actually, Aries wants to do everything fast. Well, you got to think things through before you do them. Um, if you have Mars in Sagittarius, well, that's in opposition. So there's compromise. They'll actually Mercury will say, well, maybe we should think about this, think this over. We can make a compromise here and see where it leads. Mars in Sagittarius is a mutable sign, and so is Mercury a mutable sign. So that's just an example of that playing out. Um, yeah. So then we have on the next. Do we have anything else? The fifth, Venus will be moving into Taurus later on in the day. Let's move this ahead in hours. Venus enters Taurus later on in the evening. On the 5th, or the 6th will be, or it could be the 6th on the east coast. June 6th on the east coast. Because if you add 3 hours from 9, it'll be 12:53 a.m. So that would be June 6th, where Venus, and I did a whole video on Venus in Taurus. And then we have the 7th. Oops. Oh. 7th. Jupiter is at 29 degrees of Gemini. Almost done here, where Mercury will be conjunct Jupiter the following day on the 8th. On the 8th, let's move this back hours. We're looking at Jupiter. Here we are. Jupiter and Venus and Mercury. If we move that back another hour. How about another hour? Okay. So we have Mercury and Jupiter. Mercury 29 degrees 44 minutes. That's close to Jupiter 29 degrees 45. Close enough where it's conjunct. If we move this into seconds or minutes, it'll be exact. So we have a conjunction here. Starting on the 8th. And then Venus, then Mercury moves into Cancer. As we saw before. In the afternoon on the 8th, Sunday, June 8th, Mercury moves into Cancer. On the west coast, Mercury is in Cancer. Oh. And then the next day, Jupiter will follow. Let's go back out. When we have Mercury and Jupiter exactly. Well, all right. Mercury is at 1. Okay, we move this in minutes. All right. This is moving slowly. I'm sorry. Uh, but Mercury is very close to Jupiter. And starting on the 8th, the 9th, and the 10th, Mercury and Jupiter are actually conjunct. Exactly. Oh, not. Whoops. Well, okay. Jupiter is at 0 degrees here now. Mercury at 1 degree. All right. Well, they were 1 degree apart, but they're conjunct. And they were in conjunct in Gemini, making its last Mercury in Gemini for 12 years. Jupiter, Mercury, Jupiter conjunction of 12 years. The final one on the 8th of June. And then they can go to June 9th. Yeah, which we are on June 9th when Jupiter enters Cancer. And then we have our moon moves into Sagittarius right here. Venus and Taurus makes a square to Pluto. Wow. Venus, Pluto square, and intense desire. Well, Pluto is an intense planet. Venus, the planet of desire, in Taurus. So, this is the first square we see in June between Venus and Pluto. Venus and Taurus, Pluto. There's a lot of things that are going to be happening with Pluto, bringing intense power and transformative energy to many things. A lot of change that we may be afraid of. Actually, there will be probably maybe some fear here. And then we can go to the 11. Well, let's see. Mercury will conjunct. Oh, wait. No. That's not correct. All right. Huh. Mercury will square Saturn and Neptune. So will Jupiter. Make a square, first square, yep, to Saturn and Neptune. Jupiter and Mercury. Squaring the. So, yeah, this one is the gas is stepping on the gas, and Saturn is putting on the brakes. This is the brake pedal. This is Jupiter is the gas pedal. They're making a square to each other. Lots of tension here. Um, Not terrible, but actually, it'll create some friction. Um, Especially fire and water will make some steam, or actually maybe boil over so this energy. And then we go to the 10. We're getting close to our full moon until on the 11th, right? Let's see, the 11th. The moon is 21 degree. Okay, the moon is at 27. Yeah. So the sun will be okay. Let's see exactly when on June 11th we'll have our strawberry moon, and we'll go back in an hour because we want to go back to when the moon is when. Let's see when the moon is exactly opposing the sun. Is it at 21 degrees or 20 degrees? It's at 20 degrees. Okay. 39 minutes or 30? We'll see. 20 degrees, 39 minutes. Yes. Okay. This full moon in Virgo is at 20 degrees and 39 minutes. So it's 20, almost 21 degrees. You can look at the Sabian symbols for 21, or yeah, let's see. The Sabian symbol, 21 degrees of Sagittarius. And, well, you can also look at the sun in Gemini. Let's see. Here we are. Sagittarius. Okay. Whoops. All right. Let's see. 21 degrees. Right? 21. So we're rounding up. 28 degrees, 39 minutes is 21 degrees of Sagittarius. A child with a child and a dog with borrowed eyeglasses. Examination is the key word here. Scrutiny. This symbol speaks to the absence of any clear lines or separation between lower and higher life forms or levels of competency, and to the opportunities that this absence of clear division provides for curing and supplementing individual deficiencies. The image of a child and a dog with borrowed eyeglasses alludes to borrowed perspective, or an attempt to see things more clearly and experience the world through the eyes of another. Symbolizes curiosity, role play, and a desire for personal growth and higher knowledge. Ultimately, each person creates his reality through his own unique mode of perception and then acts out of it. On the positive, at its highest, this symbol represents resourcefulness in using every possible means to find new opportunity. On the negative, failure to see the obvious and lack of objectivity. So there you have it. There's that Sagittarius side. Now in Gemini, the sun is at 21 degrees. Gemini. Do, 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 do. All right. Gemini, 21 degrees. A labor demonstration. Keyword representation. Protest. Hey. Uh-oh. This symbol speaks to breaking free of the restrictions and limitations that undermine the basic rights of freedom of men. The image of a labor demonstration is another of the reversed or negative symbols and is dramatized and it dramatizes the universal spirit as the source of all protests against social injustice. The implication here is that civil or human rights cannot be established and maintained without conscious effort, and that constraints, controls, and regulations are justified only as they benefit society as a whole. The positive side of this, as it at its highest, this symbol represents the courage to speak out against inequality and injustice, and the willingness to make personal sacrifices for the welfare of the group. Negative side, hostility and contentiousness or simple troublemaking. Well, this is going to be a very impactful time. We have a grand, well, no. Uh, let's see. This moon will make a square to the nodes. Mm, yes, we have a grand square here. Oh my goodness. Yeah, the sun is making a square to the nodes also. We have a grand no square, grand mutable square, which isn't terrible. You just go with the flow, and yeah, it's a very tense time. Um, Indeed, purging something, protest, protests. Oh yeah, yeah. This full moon, which I will do a separate video for every sign, is coming up next. So that's this week's aspects and planetary motion for the week of January 1st to the 11th, when we start to have our full moon. And actually, I am going to just share with you this full moon with just the nodes, I think, right? Yeah. Let me get rid of these and just share with you this. Whoopsie. Oh, I gotta take the nodes away. I didn't want to do that. Neptune, uh, Saturn. So here you go. Here you have it. Yes. Here's that this square, grand square, mutable grand square. Oh, boy. And we have this full moon opposition. Quite something right now for this um very polarizing time in our lives here. So this could play out in many ways. Protests and um, feeling incompetent. So yeah. Uh, hmm. All right. So I'm going to stop my share right here, and I'm going to say this is my name is Stephen the Jupiterian here, and that was my interpretation for the week of June 1st to June 11th, basically. Um, I will have my full moon. As I said, I will have full moon, all signs report very soon. And thanks for watching.